Welcome everybody to the Esports Simulation League here at Kansas Motor Speedway. We're here for our final practice before our race tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we're now taking a live look at the number 87 car.
Yeah, we're here at Kansas Motor Speedway for round 2 of the ESL. I'm Austin. I'm joining Rob Salter in the commentary box after a exciting race number 1 in Daytona. We came from the super speedways to the mile and a half right now, and this track's going to give us a lot of action.
Sorry about that. I'm just getting all of my stuff ready here. Still working on it.
It's all good. It's practice for us too.
I forgot to pull up my roster, so I don't know who everybody is.
Yeah, but as we're here in Kansas, one thing that is extremely important, I have to say, is going to be tire conservation, because this track is very flat in the banking, so tires going to be chewed up a lot. And if you could keep those tires going on, expect those drivers who have a lot of smoothness in their car to be doing extremely well.
Hey Frank, the stream disappeared, bud. There we go. We're working on trying to get the smoothness here up in the booth as well. Looks like currently at the top of the boards with a 29.890 is Doug Britton. Running top of the board. Running in second is Davis with a 30.049. So he's got about almost a half a second on the second place car.
Yeah, guys up front, they have a lot of clean air. I'm not surprised that the track is clogging up, that these guys up at front are not being challenged a lot, but I expect that draft to come in and help out a lot of these guys right now, as we're looking at Manning right now, the number 9, sitting in 12th.
And we change over to David Dunwoody, the number 28 vehicle. And look at that, bops up to 8th place, not down to 9th place now with a 31.47. So that was a fast time for that number 28 car.
Yeah, everyone's getting their flying laps in here, because when they come across the line, usually they're going to have to get 1 to 2 laps to heat up these tires and get the cars up to speed.
Yeah.
Stallone jumps up into
29.944. Zachary Taylor with a 29.95. He got up there in the top 3. Now there's 4 cars in the 29. Looks like the track's actually speeding up a little bit.
Oh yeah, the track is definitely speeding up. The rubber is getting all over the place here. Stallone still sitting in second place. He's actually following the 19 of who would be the 19?
That's Antoine Bernoulli.
Yeah,
and
Bernoulli.
Look who just popped up into the top 4. Casper Hagelscar, our Daytona winner, with a 29.974. So he's now comfortably in the top 5.
Yeah, Hagelscar was fast, and pretty much that car is extremely fast, and he's extremely fast. But that was around Daytona Super Speedway. A little bit of a debate was happening with the driver, saying if he would be quick around a mile and a half, and well, he's certainly showing that pace as well.
Hey Frank, I know you can hear me here. Make sure that when we're talking about somebody, you switch to that driver. Don't forget about that. Now taking a look at Aiden Davis in that number 3, sitting just inside the top 10 with a 30.049 is his quick time. Doug Britton still sitting at the top of the board with a 29.890. We'll see how long that lasts as these cars go into the pits, come back out with fresh tires, and give her another go. Looks like they're running the top side of this racetrack too. I mean, it's a faster way around, but it's definitely longer.
Yeah, that top line is going to be the preferred line to keep these tires going on as long as they can. That is actually why most of the smooth guys you're going to be seeing running up there. And the aggressive guys, I've been watching them, they like to dive down low. And with those guys running that very high line, that's where all the grip is. So it's going to be very risky for those guys up there, especially if somebody's trying for a move. And we might be seeing a incident-filled race if the aggressive drivers keep going for moves, especially later on in the runs.
Yeah, because tire wear is going to be a big factor here. So any extra wear on them tires is going to hurt you in the long run. As we see the number 58 car, Josh Edmondson, racing that number 7, that's Basher Craven, battling there on the racetrack.
Yeah, I was talking with Josh the other day, and he really was not happy with his race 1 performance. Josh, he actually finished, actually, I don't even think he finished. No, he did finish in 22nd place.
Yeah, the Daytona race, we didn't really see the big one, but we saw a bunch of little ones that ended up taking about half the field out. I believe there's only about 12 or 15 cars left on the lead lap at the end of that race.
13
But we
cars on
did
the lead lap, and I can
13.
tell you, with all those little small incidents, a car that was a lap down the very start, finished second, that was me.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. We seen you starting at the back, and all of a sudden, we seen all the drivers at the front most of the race. That number 92 car, Bobby Leo Moxon led half the race until he made a crazy pit stop on his own, and then within 30 laps to go, we see that 210 car pop up front and ended up finishing second. It was quite a run to see.
A little bit of anger with that random caution before the last lap, but I'll take the top 2.
Yeah, it was a bummer we ended under caution, but it was a wonderful race to watch, and it was a great season opener for the Esports Simulation League, and I think we could definitely deem it as a success.
It definitely is a success, and right now as we're watching me getting passed by the 5 and my teammate right now, Brian Delp, um, we're going to be looking at the tires. You can just see the complete difference between new tires versus worn tires. The new tires have so much grit compared to the worn tires that they could just rocket past you. So those guys with those pit stop strategies, watch out for them.
Yeah, and it looks like the track is kind of evened out a bit. Everybody seems like they're getting close to getting their fastest lap times. We see our leader, Doug Britton's in the pits, but Andrew Manoli there in the number 19 car, he's sitting just outside the top 10, looking to make a few more faster laps, trying to get in that 29 zone.
Yeah, but Noli, he's looking very, very, very consistent right now after finishing 20th last time by. The 19 looking to make some improvement, currently sitting 13th, but times are one thing. How much you can manage those tires in the race is another thing, and practice and race times are completely different stuff because you got guys doing a whole lot of data collection for their virtual pit crew.
And yeah, and I'm seeing a full almost second in between the first place car and the last place car. I'm not sure what happened to Kamoli there with a 53.671. That's kind of a slow lap. Wondering kind of
I
what
feel
might
like
have
he
happened
met the
to him.
wall. I feel like
I
he met
think
the
something
wall.
might have happened to him. But between Bustle there in 35th with a 30.534 and Doug Britton on the pole with a 29.89, that tells me that after about 40 laps, we're going to be running into lap traffic, if not even sooner. So lap traffic is definitely going to be a factor on tire wear as well.
Yeah, lap traffic on those fresher tires or the softer tires is definitely going to be making a massive impact with these guys. It's going to be providing traffic. It's going to be providing opportunities for drafting, and they might get a little bit too ambitious, and there might be a few lapped cars wrecking a leader. So It might get a bit controversial here in Kansas if it stays the same. But hey, you can never be too ambitious, and it's especially if this race goes green, the strategy is going to be playing a big part.
Yeah, and we've seen strategy work for and against people. Namely that number 92, Bobby Leo Moxon. We'll be really interested to see how he does on this track here. Being leading most of Daytona and being a drafting track, Daytona is always that wild card. Daytona and Talladega always that wild card. You never know who's going to win, who it's going to win. I mean, it's almost anybody's chance.
Yeah,
But here in Kansas,
I call any super speedway the big old roulette table. It's just you toss a dart at the board and hopefully you end up having a good race.
well, so far Bobby Leo Moxon is running 23rd quick with a 30.266. And now some of these guys could be to the point where on their fresh tires for their first couple laps where they've got the best out of them, they're in clean air and they're all by themselves. They don't have anybody to draft with to get some speed. So I'd look to see that some of these guys coming out of the pits here, the fresh tires, starting to put down some fast lap times again.
Yeah, the times are going to be falling down as the track is extremely rubbered in. There's grip all over the place. The sun is coming down. The track is cooling off. So I'm expecting these times to start falling away. But one thing I have noticed, my driver has not gone into the pits yet. And that's just showing you on how long the smooth drivers can be.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find out what our pit stop strategy is looking at, what our pit window is for these cars. Are some of these guys out here just practicing, just kind of see what times they can get, or are they out here practicing their long run, seeing what they can get out of their fuel, seeing what they can get out of their tires, seeing what they can push to get an edge over the competition?
I feel like it's going to be a lot of seeing on how long these tires last before they hit a wall and how long they can keep a specific pace. I was doing some solo testing. I was running about 60 laps before I actually needed to go into the pits.
Yeah, and that seems to be what we found in our solo tests a little bit earlier in the week. But it'll definitely be interesting to see around lap 50 if we've got any guys that are wanting to take early pits. I mean, we can 60 laps. I mean, by lap 40, we can really technically take a pit stop and be there. So we'll be really interested to see what the pit strategies are for the teams. Are they going to make it
Yeah,
a two-stop race so that they can get those tires, or are they going to try to make it a one-stop race and try to win on fuel?
I feel like lap 40 to lap 60 and beyond is going to be the moment. To lap 66, I believe was the longest I've seen a run go. But when in tomorrow in the race, it's going to be very, very important on when that pit stop is, especially if it is a green flag race from start to finish. But have a feeling these guys are going to get a little bit rowdy right now as we're looking at Patchard, and he's gaining up a lot on the 86, and that car just swings around the outside. That was actually the 64 of Kamoli, who he finished down. Rusty, he actually finished at 31st at Daytona, so the Canadian looking a lot better. That Tim Hortons car is rocketing right now, and I feel like he's going to jump up the timetable.
And yeah, that definitely tells me that he had an issue coming out of the pits with that 56-second lap time because he actually just got his fastest lap time there. He's still sitting 36 in a 30.573, but that just could be showing you how much the track's actually slowing down. He's got fresh tires, just put down his fastest lap time.
Craven, though, jumps up to the top of the time, 29.868. Amazing time by the 7.
Yeah, that was quick, and it looks like these guys are still finding some speed out there. Maybe some fresh tires. We'll have to see if we can get anything else. But so far, all of a sudden, Basher Craven to the top of the board for the ESL series here at Kansas.
Yeah, Basher bashing in the time boards by almost 300ths of a second, really 22 hundredths of a second to Britain, and Craven just everything worked out just fine, and Gunning jumps up into 5th place with a 29.970.
Yeah, Gunny had a really interesting race at Daytona. He was kind of middle of the pack the whole race, and then he moved up. I believe it was close to eighth place by the time the race was over.
Yeah, Gunny finishes 6th last time by, didn't lead a lap, but his best lap is actually his 4th lap, so he was in traffic the entire time and didn't really have a lot of clean air to work himself in, and it's just positioning at super speedways, and the person who had the best position is going to be in the lead, and that was Casper Hagelsecker, and 43 laps led at Daytona.
Yeah, I mean, once that 92 ducked on in, he just took control of that race, and he never ever looked back. And it was a pretty spectacular drive for that number 18 car.
Exactly, and when you're in the lead, it's very hard to give it up or have people really chase you down. And that's what these races at the quarter miles or mile and a half. So I keep calling them quarter miles for some reason. But that's what these races at these type of tracks are gonna bring us, the same type of result. Whoever's gonna have that clean air is gonna have a big advantage, especially if they can get clear of the fighting behind them.
Real quick, Frank, can you send me the actual standings in a message, please?
And we're looking at this is Moxon right now, and the 92 on old tires just got just got whitewashed by Brian Delp Jr. and that Pack Esports car, and I believe that car might be changing within next week, as that team is, I think they're joining a new team very soon. There's some rumors about that.
Oh, you're hearing rumors about driver changes. I haven't heard any of those rumors quite yet.
More livery changes than driver changes.
Oh, okay, livery changes.
Yeah.
Gonna make it harder for me to tell which car is which. I got to get used to them.
I'll let you know if I ever change a car, and it's going to keep the same pattern, just better.
Looks like Wade just jumped up into the top 20. He moves up to 17th with a 3:01.12. That's the fastest lap time for him right there.
Yeah, Wade making an overtake on the 27 and 69 right there.
Definitely got some fresh tires on that machine and making moves if he is passing people like they're standing still. Which tells me, I mean, it could be a tire game. Who's gonna make this a two-stop race for some fresher tires?
I feel like it's going to be who's going to try to stay for one lap and try to do it all the way if it stays green. But if it comes down to yellow, oh, some of those guys who have those over-ambitious pit crews, those guys might have a big giant advantage here, and I think 20 laps to go, we might see somebody dive into the pits who pitted extremely early and just take the field by storm.
And we'll have to see, because look at this 5 work his way through traffic. Everybody is so much slower than he is at the moment on them fresher tires.
Yeah, he's running about 2 seconds a lap faster than everybody else right now. But if you do go into a green flag pit stop, 20 laps to go, you will come out a lap down. It's just, can you make that lap back? It's 30 seconds around here, 32 seconds to 34 seconds around here if you're just conserving tires, and depending on how worn your tires are. About, I would say, 15 laps of good old heart-pounding action on those tires to get you to around 31 seconds. So if you do the math, that's about, that will make it close to you just getting your lap back. So you're going to really have to work out, hopefully an incident comes out if you do pit early.
Yeah, and taking a look now at Dustin Slider in the number 15. We saw him at Daytona work his way up to the front of the pack to almost try to lead a lap. Fell back and ended up getting into a incident later on in the race and not finishing too well. But he's right now running 21st quick with a 31.65.
Yeah, those fresh tires that he's working on doing wonders for him. So he makes a pass down to the inside, comes across the line. Not going to see any improvement right there because he did have traffic, and Kansas is a very particular track. There is a fast line, but all these guys and all the draft is on that upper line to keep these cars just going, narrow down, and keeping that consistent pace and watching the tire data.
No, honestly, in this practice, I haven't. Honestly, I felt like this race was going to be a race of attrition, but in this practice, I haven't really been seeing anybody get loose. I haven't really been seeing any issues with guys, even the faster guys on fresh tires catching up to the slower guys. They've all had some pretty decent interactions. I haven't seen really any problems on the racetrack, so I'm kind of wondering if we're going to go green the entire race tomorrow night.
Well, it's a practice session. Everyone's not bunched up together like they are in the beginning of a race. I would say the first 10 laps are going to be extremely crazy as Casper gets onto the back of me right here, and he's going to draft me through these opening laps. And, well, here in practice, as we're going to go 3 wide through 3 and 4, and back to 2 wide back there. But in the opening laps, we're going to be seeing a lot of bumping and banging, maybe cars getting loose, maybe some ambitious dives, but for those first 15 to 20 laps, it's going to be just drivers finding their place. After that, if nothing has happened during then, I can almost guarantee you a entirely green flag race until somebody goes into the pit lane and, well, starts a fire.
It starts a fire. Well, with 5 minutes less to go in final practice, let's go through the top 10. Or let's go, actually, we can even go through the field and let you know where everybody's at. Basher Craven in that number 7 car still on the top of the boards with a 29.868. Doug Britton right behind him in that number 40 car. He was quick time until Basher took it from him at 29.8.90.
Yeah, third, it is Stallone sitting there with a 29.944. He's followed by Hack in 4th place with a 29.693.
Yep. In 5th place is that number 68. That's Gunny. He's running a 29.970. And in 6th place, your winner at Daytona, Casper Hagelskar, the number 18. And he's running a 29.974.
Yeah, Zachary Taylor is sitting in 7th in the 24 car. He just ran a 29.995, and he's actually going to end his practice session right here and drive into the pits as he gathered his data right there.
Yeah, Eagle Madavi in the 88. He's running 8th in the 29.997. Josh Edmondson in the 58 car. He's in 9th with a 30.025. And David Dunwoody in that number 28 car is rounding out your top 10 with a 30.037. Aiden Davis in that 3 car. He's running 11th with a 30.049.
He's actually followed by Ben Shelton in that 21 Ford Mustang car. He's sitting in 12th place, and his fast lap was a 30.054. And that 21 car just looks fabulous right there.
Yeah, that guy, I do like the paint job on that car. Something about that gold. It looks pretty.
It pops.
But you did miss that. He is actually in 13th place. Dan Harrington is in 12th in that number 82 car. Seen him up towards the front a couple times at Daytona, running up towards that outside lane. Then you got Shelton there in the 13th. And then you have Bullock in the number 11 car running 14th with a 30.056. And we talked about him a couple times. Antoine Bernoulli in that number 19 car is running out your top 15.
Next to it is Earl Andretti in that 69 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. And that 69 car of Earl was doing all right in Daytona, and then it just went all wrong.
And I believe that 69 was the one that got into Dustin Slider late in the race. They ended up getting together and getting into the wall. We got Frank Wade in the number 5 car. He's running number 17th place with a 30.112. And then we also have Wilhelm Layton in the number 99, running a 30.124 in 18th place. Austin Knight in that number 210 car is 19th quick with a 30.132. And Brian Delt Jr. in that number 8 is going to round out to 20th place with 30.151.
The teammates sitting 19th and 20th right now, so I believe these two guys are sharing some tips right now, and they're both of them extremely close in time, so might be sharing some setup strategy.
You know it. Always have to take care of your teammates and take care of yourself when it comes to here. But I guarantee you, them last 5 laps, nobody's a teammate for them last 5 laps. Running 21st, got the big brother Dustin Slider in that number 15 car, 30.165, and in 22nd, the number 17 Javier Vasquez with a 30.174.
Behind them is Dylan Herventon in that Ford Mustang 22 car. He's sitting in 23rd with a 30.189 as practice has 20 seconds left here on track.
So yeah, there it is. Basher Craven in that number 7 car looks to be your fast time here in final practice here at Kansas. With 29.868.
Yeah, checker flags are out. I know some guys that are just went into the pits and then came out a little bit early trying to snatch that top time. Burton, he's still out there, 29.890. And it's just that traffic is making it very difficult. Look at that 17 though.
Fresh tires, look at them, 3 wide, going ham.
And Joshua fastest, but he hits the brakes hard as the 15 just blocks his way, and ooh, he's not happy about
below
that.
the apron.
He is not happy about that. Oh, and he brake checks the 15 right there. We'll
have to see if that rubs off into the race tomorrow.
Well, if we see these two start duking it out right here, we all know what's going to happen.
All right. Well, Basher Craven, your fast time here tonight in practice. Thanks for coming out. I'm Rob Slider. Mr. Technicality thanks you. We'll see you tomorrow.